Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ravens Today with your host, Connor Gioffreda. Please hit that subscribe button, like the video, and make sure to comment if you have any comments about the Ravens as we get closer to draft night. I have some interesting news coming out of the woodworks that Joe Flacco had considered a reunion with the Ravens. The Ravens and Joe Flacco had briefly discussed it, and just to see where he was, whether he wanted to or not. I mean, Joe Flacco started his career on the Ravens, won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. But Joe had this to say about his reunion status. He said he loves the Ravens. He respects John Harbaugh, respects the front office very much, but he wants to go where he would possibly get some playing time. I understand this. Joe still has, in my opinion, some gas left in the tank for him to kind of prove himself to be in a starting quarterback position. He wouldn't get it on the Ravens. I'm just being blunt about it. While I do love Joe Flacco and I do think he has a cannon for an arm, his spiral is just on another level. He would never get to play unless Lamar was injured, and I just don't see it happening if he were to take that, and he did not take that. As I've mentioned before, he signed with the Browns, where I think he could really compete for the starting position, as he was a former starter. And like I've said previously, he was able to haul the Browns into a playoff position. But I would have enjoyed seeing Joe Flacco put on the uniform one more time as a Raven and possibly retire as a Raven. He is one of the better quarterbacks that the Ravens have had in, the franchise's history. Pending Lamar, I think Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback than Joe Flacco. Once Lamar finally gets his Super Bowl ring, he'll surpass Joe Flacco in the media. But it would have been nice to see if Joe Flacco put on the Purple one last time. But wasn't meant to be, and all good things and good luck to Joe Flacco, as the Ravens and the Browns will face off twice a year. And hopefully it's against Joe Flacco, because that would be bittersweet for Ravens fans. It would just be kind of like a old versus the new type of matchup. Moving on, I've been hearing some rumors now that the Ravens are concerned for the cornerback position is even more crucial because of the Trey White Bills signing. Today, as of this video today, Trey White had signed a one-year contract with his former team, the Buffalo Bills, and he was a former Raven last year. And I did like his signing with the Ravens. I thought he had better production than Brandon Stevens. So all good things to Trey White. I hope he is able to, have a great reunion with the Bills. But this, for the Ravens, really does come into the question, the cornerback depth. But thankfully, in the press conference the other day, Eric DeCosta did say that the corner depth position was going to be addressed in the draft, and maybe we will see some signings after the draft and the free agency. But this shows me that the depth on defense, especially at corner, is going to be addressed in the draft. And again, I want to see Eric DeCosta keep his word and really try and focus on those gaps in the defense, and the corner position is one of them, especially with Trey White signing with the Bills. But he did say he was going to address it in the draft, and let's see how he addresses it this coming draft. Also been hearing some rumors in the woodworks that the Ravens should invest in a fourth tight end, with all the current tight ends on the Ravens in a final contract year. Mark Andrews is in his final year of his contract. Isaiah Likely is in his final year of his rookie deal. Charlie Kolar is also in his final year of his rookie deal. So it's likely that the Ravens won't be able to keep all three. It's possible, but let's see how that goes. I can see it happening, but if it weren't to happen, let's say that we need to address this position again. There have been a couple options this draft that the Ravens could do, like a day 3 tight end pick. We can go into 2 prospects with Mitchell Evans from Notre Dame. He had 43 receptions, 421 yards, 3 touchdowns in his final year at Notre Dame. He returned from an ACL injury in 2023, and to say that his production from that injury is pretty impressive is an understatement. Coming back from an ACL tear is not easy, especially at that young of an age. And he was able to bring back his former production from previous years, and his final year at Notre Dame was pretty impressive. There's another tight end that the Ravens could look at, in Terrence Ferguson from Oregon. He had 43 receptions, 591 yards receiving, and 3 touchdowns. Also a great, investment pick in the Ravens, just to see how he does in the offseason, see how he does in the preseason games for both tight ends. Here's the kicker, though. Mitchell Evans is a better run blocker, and the Ravens are a run-heavy team. So if they were going to invest in a tight end on a day 3 pick, I would go with Mitchell Evans. Yes, he had that injury, but it seems like that is far beyond behind him, and he is only looking towards the horizon. And I think Mitchell Evans would be a great pick for if the Ravens decided to go with a tight end for a day 3 pick. If they can somehow get a great blocker in Mitchell Evans and be able to incorporate that into the league, I think this would be kind of like a backup pick for me, where if any of the tight ends that are in their all the tight ends are in their final contract years decide to pursue elsewhere and try and see if they can get better value on a different team, Mitchell Evans could kind of fill that position, and we don't need to have a depth problem in the tight end position. I do think that that the Ravens are going to try and sign Isaiah Likely at one point or another during this offseason or right before the draft. It's something the Ravens should definitely do. I think Isaiah Likely is a star in the making, like I've said before. I can see Charlie Kolar kind of getting like a 2-year deal that isn't as high as Isaiah Likely's deal. But again, I could see he has proven some sparks of greatness in him. I don't know if Mark Andrews is going to stay on the Ravens sometime in the offseason. If there is some, trade package that teams are willing to give for him, I don't think we should, let him go. But again, like I've said before, if a real trade opportunity comes that the Ravens can't ignore, I would try and move on from him. And finally, we look at another draft night pick that is 100% a pick that the Ravens should definitely look at, is Georgia linebacker Mikel Williams. He had 41 solo tackles, 14 sacks, 3 forced fumbles in his career at Georgia. I think this is a fantastic pick for the Ravens. One that the Ravens definitely need. He is a real game wrecker when it comes to the pass rush. Also, fun fact, he opted for a private workout instead of a public workout, the NFL Combine. He met with several different teams, including the Ravens, who observed the private workout with him. This is not uncommon with Georgia players, as they are able to show their prowess in front of personnel in a more private-like manner, and be able to showcase themselves in a manner where teams are actually get a good look at him. Also, fun fact, he was on the 2022 national championship team that won the Natty. So he understands what it's like to be in a championship mindset. I think this is a great pick for the Ravens to invest in. If he is available on number 27, this is also something that the Ravens should consider. I know that mock drafts have Malachi Starks, the safety, as their first pick that the Ravens are going to invest in, but I think this one is much better. I think the Ravens should listen to me and pick a linebacker, a pass rusher, for their first pick on draft night. Please, anyone in the front office that watches this, watch this. This right here is definitely a player that I would look into in terms of in terms of defense, in terms of a pass rush, and in terms of a first round pick on draft night. Please. That's all I have to say about that. I'm like, this is the route we need to go. If we want to invest in a safety or corner, go round 2, round 3. Okay. I just want to see us be able to have a better pass rush than we've had in the recent years. And Mikel Williams is the perfect candidate for an investment and development. If you disagree with me, comment down below. My name is Connor Gioffreda. Thank you for tuning into the Ravens Today show. And again, please make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Have a good day, everyone.